Oh man, you know why I'm about to do this commentary, and I'll tell you why. The more things remain weird, the more that they may remain more weird and even more bizarre by it. But I mean, you can always tell with Hollywood when Hollywood just goes there. Now, this whole thing, I'm going to start off by saying, shout out. I don't even want to say a shout out. I'm going to say that Gene Deal recently had he has a podcast here, or a podcast or a YouTube channel where he goes live and he talks about various things. Now, Gene Deal, if you guys don't know who Gene Deal is, he was the former bodyguard of P. Diddy, aka your boy Puff Daddy. Okay, at the time where Diddy and Bad Boy were very popular. Okay, and that's around the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. Midway through that, and then after that, I think he retired. Now he's a retired, former bodyguard of Sean Diddy Combs. And around the time, he said a lot of stuff about how Diddy was really freaking off in bathhouses and just he may have had suspect situations going on. Let's just say that. And at the same damn time, at the time, he thought that Ben Affleck could never bag J-Lo, right? And it's funny that I guess Ben Affleck, but I'm not going to get too much into that because that's another topic for another video about Diddy and his stuff that I found out through Gene Deal, and probably part of the stuff is real because Gene Deal was a vocal part of being that surrogate dad or father figure or big brother figure to Sean Diddy Combs, as you know, aka formerly known as Puff Daddy, of CEO of Bad Boy Records and artist itself and actor. But anyway, and entrepreneur and a multi-million dollar, one of the more richest multi-millionaire black men, in hip hop. Okay. His dad was a thug in Harlem, and his mother, was a typical black woman from New York, from Harlem, from New York. He grew up in the NYC, and of course he had a dream. He had a dream, and that dream came to fruition with Biggie and Bad Boy and Craig Mack, and you guys know all the rest is history. If you, like me, grew up in the 90s, but you never really knew how things came to be until way later on, with these certain individuals. Now, the reason why I have this photo up, and what's laughable to me, and this is the whole part of the thing where I'm going to get to on this, is that Ben Affleck is saying now, after 20 years later, or 16 to 20 years later, he's now saying that, at the time he dated J-Lo, there was a lot of racism going on. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, Ben, you let the racism get to you. Okay, you let the racism get to you where so much is that I found out that your people are from Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, and Bostonians are the most racist of all races of people, right? Especially Caucasian white races from Boston. Okay, got that heavy Bostonian accent. Okay, holla at your boys are from there. Okay, Matt Damon, New Kids on the Block, Donnie Wahlberg, Jordan Knight. Not to mention, but these are the popular guys. Or of course, Donnie Wahlberg's brother, Mark Wahlberg. Okay, you got a lot of people from Boston who have never wanted their fellow Caucasian, Bostonian family members and men to date outside the race. This is a thing. And now that 16 to 20 years later, Ben Affleck's talking about he felt bad because, for him and J-Lo, because there was a lot of racism going on, shot at their relationship. You say this now. Now, Ben Affleck, I like you in the role of Bruce Wayne and Batman now that you are the official canon to me, DCEU Batman. But what I can't get with is now you're saying this 16, 20 years later. You should have been trying to fight for this, man. But you didn't. Okay, you ended up having kids with Jennifer Garner, and obviously you see what what took a toll on that. Now you trying to speak up because J-Lo's hot now. She's everywhere. She's one of the most hottest early Generation X middle-aged women, and you now want to ride her jock now, and I can't get down with that, man. I mean, J-Lo's doing her thing. Okay, she is still very attractive for 50 plus. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not here to talk about all that. I'm talking about now. Back then in this photo, this is when they were together. 16, 20 years later, now you want to talk about how you felt bad that a lot of racism was coming at you and her with y'all's relationship. Really? Okay. That I just don't know, and I could tell probably Ben Affleck, he's a part of the liberal, Hollywood elite. I know he is to a degree. He may not be all the way, but but as he's all saying this, what about coming to the aid of Ray Fisher? I mean, I know he's a male, and he's an Afro male, but what about coming to the aid of Ray Fisher? You want to talk about this J-Lo thing? Obviously, you haven't gotten over J-Lo, dude, but J-Lo is over you, because she's sitting up here with A-Rod, and she's making a family with A-Rod. So I don't know. I mean, 16, 20 years later till now, you want to announce that, oh man, he now he feels bad about ending that relationship. He ended that relationship because his folks did not want to see him with a woman of color. Okay, mainly a Latino, and you know how that goes in typical Caucasian white households. They don't want their sons and daughters marrying outside the race. This is no rocket scientist to think about this, especially when you're in the entertainment business. Why do you think a lot of these celebrities don't go there? Now, some do and some don't. But hey, everybody's going to date who they're comfortable with. I'm not here to play, the race card on these relationships. I'm just here to say, look, if you're going to be real, be real. If you're going to fight for a relationship, fight for that relationship. Okay? Whether your wife is blue and from the moon or as blue and alien as that fine lady was, Zahn on a Farscape. Okay? Because if I was with the woman on Farscape and she was blue just like her character on there, and she was a real life person or a real life being person from, who was an alien, or that's like marrying one of the alien women from Alien Nation. You know what I mean? If you love that woman, you gonna defend that relationship. And Ben Affleck didn't. And maybe, he was young back then, and they said there was a story that he basically had took J-Lo from Diddy. And Diddy was going to Gene Deal, asking Gene, hey, I'm tired of Diddy in the way that Diddy, is playing on me. So right when they had this little gala or whatever, like get together, that was, I think it was Diddy's party or Diddy's little party or whatever he had going on, Ben Affleck, of course, all the celebrities going to show up because, that's, how, all celebrities going to show up at, the other celebrities type of functions. They said that Ben Affleck slid in there and started talking to J-Lo, and J-Lo, he was wondering, and I guess, at that point, Ben Affleck was still single, and he said, hey, if Diddy ain't doing it right, and then I think Diddy saw that he was doing this, and Diddy didn't care. He didn't think it was real till the next day. It said in the tabloids or whatever, or the tabloids or the news, it came into the news that Ben Affleck and J-Lo were an item. And that was around, I think, 2003. That was right after J-Lo and Diddy went through that trial, that shooting at the nightclub that went down when Diddy had Shine, or set up kind of like Shine just went overboard to try to protect Diddy because, he was trying to protect his so-called CEO. But you know, it ended up putting Shine behind bars because I guess, you know, Shine had priors. So, and then, you know, Diddy saved himself, and J-Lo was in the midst of that at that time, and J-Lo was in the midst of drama, you know, with Diddy, and she had to get from out that. So what did she do? She said, I got to get a fresh start. But like I said, the J-Lo and I think they used to call it J Benifer or whatever they used to call it. And right after that, I think it only lasted 2 to 3 years with J-Lo and Ben, and because they did that movie, that silly ass movie called Gigli, you know, which I didn't really particularly care for. But the only reason why I saw it because, you know, J-Lo was looking pretty damn good up in that, I gotta admit. But anyway, you know, but now 16, 20 years later, player, you talking about, oh, I felt bad because of the race. Now he trying to do this social justice warrior, slightly social SJW type thing about their relationship. And I'm like, Ben Affleck, don't do that. Don't do that, dude. You know, because you done wrecked another relationship with your wife that you stayed with for many years, had kids with, fellow actress also, you know, Jennifer Garner. Okay. Wow, and you actually have been with women who are both named Jennifer and Jennifer. Jennifer Garner and Jennifer Lopez. Anyway, what a damn coincidence. But anyway, at the end of the day, Ben Affleck needs to sit his ass down and prepare for Bruce Wayne and Batman and move on. Okay? Because when your past is over, it's over. All right, man. This is Rolando G for the celebrity. Why the F did you say that? I'm out. Till next time.